Welcome back, True Seeker. Got to talk about the Hollywood script. Aaron Rodgers picking up his 63rd home win over the 49ers with a score of 33-30, 63 points, and the announcer calling out the Hollywood script at the end. Let me take this over to my desktop so I can show you what you missed out on by not following my Patreon page. If you're not on my Patreon page, I'm telling you what's happening in the world of sports before it happens. Can't do it every time, but I do it very often. I do it a lot. Called nearly every single football game right this week. Par for the course. And I said the safest pick of the week was the 49ers losing to the Packers at Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Not a real ballsy call, but I said why the game was all about the number 63. And lo and behold, it ends in 63 points. The Packers winning with 33. Now, why was the game all about 63? Like I said, today, October 15th, 2018, and to date was 63 numerology. 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 18 equals 63. And the man of the hour, Aaron Rodgers, his name in the language of Gematria sums to 63. Gematria means geometry and language. It's a Masonic language. If you know those Freemasons, they got that logo, the compass with the capital G above the square, kind of like the capital G on the Packers helmet. Gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Aaron Rodgers equals 63. He just picked up his 63rd win, and he did it with 63 combined points. Not only that, but he did it with 33 points. There's a couple reasons that matters. This happened on MNF. And Monday Night Football has that Gematria 33. It's a number that's used in these rituals every single week. 33 points on MNF, 63 combined points. There's another thing about 33. The capital G in the Francis Bacon cipher, Francis Bacon was a Freemason. Capital G is 33. Just think about the Packers helmet. Big symbolic win. And I want to show you something else. Aaron Rodgers' birthday is December 2nd. I'll show you this. His birthday is December 2nd. And I want to show you what's up with today, October 15th, and how many days it is to December 2nd in light of him beating the 49ers. So we're going to get the date duration calculator out here. We're going to type in October 15th, 2018. We're going to put in his birthday, December 2nd, 2018. Notice that's 48 days later. If you count the full span, it's 49 days. Span of days from October 15th to December 2nd, 49. He beats the 49ers. In case you're new here, just to give you a little education, there's 4 base ciphers. There's the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. There's the reverse alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. 49 is a big number to the NFL. NFL's 49. Super Bowl has that Gematria 49. The NFL calls itself America's game, America 49. The NFL was established by Scottish Rite Freemasons, Scottish 49. Remember how the 49ers hosted the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 50? San Francisco has that Gematria 50. Remember how they started out 5-0 in Super Bowls? Remember how they beat the Chargers in the Super Bowl with 49 points? If you go back and look at the golden anniversary of the Super Bowl, the one in San Francisco, it was on the 38th day of the year, February 7th. The golden anniversary on the 38th day. The team from the 38th state, Colorado, won. Colorado's got that Gematria 38. And in case you're new here, you know, USA Today, they thought they would take a stab at me for exposing Super Bowl 50 in October. In October, before Super Bowl 50, I said why the Denver Broncos would beat the Carolina Panthers, why Von Miller would be the MVP, why the game would be a tribute to Super Bowl 24, and why there'd be a Black Panther tribute. Lo and behold, the Broncos beat the Panthers with 24 points, and Beyonce got criticized for dressing up as a Black Panther at halftime, and Von Miller was the MVP. USA Today wrote this article on their Big League Sports page, calling me out, Zachary K. Hubbard, making fun of me, calling me a conspiracy theorist when I would never consider myself that. Never. All I am is a truth speaker who figured out how these games are rigged and scripted. If you were listening to tonight's game, at the end of the game, you all heard it watching Monday Night Football. They said, what a Hollywood script. That's exactly what they said. What a Hollywood script. I'll show you something about the word Hollywood. Hollywood Gematria 33. right before the 33-point field goal. Masonry controls the world of entertainment, from Hollywood to sports. Masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33. Not an accident. I tell you all sorts about the Green Bay Packers. Established August 11th in history, the 223rd day of the year. Look it up. Packers established August 11th, 1919. That's the 223rd day of the year. There's another cipher outside of these base ciphers, Masonic 223. The Masonic symbol, the capital G, like on the Packers helmet. I can show you something about Green Bay. Green Bay in the base cipher, 139, like Freemasonry. 139. Just before this game, they killed James Taylor. James Taylor, former Packer, dead at age 83. Football equals 83. Murder equals 83. See? They do a lot of things by the numbers. They rig the games by the numbers. They murder people by the numbers. It's all sick. It's all very sick. So yeah, if you're not on that Patreon, I mean, you can subscribe tonight. You can subscribe tonight and go watch the picks I put out, and I can tell you all about how Monday night was going to be all about 63. And the other thing I talked about in my preview video, you might know this, you might not, but it's all true. Aaron Rodgers, he played his college football at Cal, not far from the 49ers. And he came out of college early because he believed he was going to be drafted by the 49ers #1 overall, who had the #1 pick in 2005. But instead, they took Alex Smith. And if you go back and you read about why the 49ers took Alex Smith instead of Aaron Rodgers, it was because of Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, and he thought Alex Smith was the better player. He was more athletic. He was faster. He was a little bit younger. So Mike McCarthy chose Alex Smith. That's at least what they tell you. And then lo and behold, Mike McCarthy becomes the head coach of the Packers and has Aaron Rodgers for the rest of his career. Of course, none of this is by accident. You guys remember when Mike McCarthy's brother died the other year? It's a few years back now. Mike McCarthy's brother murdered by the numbers for his role as the millionaire coaching the rigged NFL, which is no different than the WWE, which couldn't be any more obvious. You know, see at the end of the game how they're saying, "Oh man, Rodgers, the flick of the wrist, he put that ball right on Adams' hands." You know, Adams number 17. He had a big night tonight. It's a big number to the Masons. Mason 17. Modern Freemasonry began in the year 1717. Dude, you know how many people can throw the ball right on the spot? A lot. You're listening to one. I can hit the target all day, every day. You know, I hate watching these guys get worshipped at playing these rigged games. You know, doing things a lot of men can do. You know, all you people who go to these games and pay money for these tickets, you guys are the biggest sheep in the world. To not know that sports are rigged is just to be a complete idiot. Period. End of discussion. Nothing more to say. You know, I've been here since what, 2014, calling the championships year after year, months before the games are set, getting articles written about it, doing it in all sports, college and pro. It's all rigged. It's all scripted by the same code, week after week, same repetitive patterns. You guys are sitting here watching this stuff and getting all worked up and getting all emotional, thinking it's all real. You got the announcer mocking you every week. Couldn't have scripted it any better. Hollywood script. It's just, I don't normally drink. I had to break out the booze tonight. It was so bad. Thanks for those 2 people who just bought the book. You guys want to learn more about this code? In every video down in the description, I got a book linked. Another way to find it is just go to Etsy.com and search letters and numbers. Look for the bright green cover. $5, 773 pages. You know why it's priced so low? So your broke ass can afford it. Same guy who goes and spends $50 on beer at the rigged football game. Save that money, stay home for an evening, read up. Got a whole chapter, as long as a book, on rigged sports by the numbers, including the first Packers Super Bowl and why they won with 35 points. I'll save it for you. If you want to do me a favor, go to the big lead and write Ryan Phillips and say, "Hey, asshole, Zachary K. Hubbard's waiting for his follow-up interview on all the championships he's called since this one correctly." You guys should read this whole article and see what this guy says about me. You know, real joker, that guy. So Anyway, all the sports is rigged. Sign up for the Patreon. $5 a month will get you about $5,000 worth of sports making content, literally. Jonathan just won huge tonight again. Jonathan's probably made, I don't know, Jonathan's made several $1,000s this year off my picks. So have a lot of other people. Jonathan just happens to have my phone number, one of few people that does. Every week he's texting me, Zach, I won huge again this week. Thank you. But really, it's all thanks to Jonathan. Jonathan was the smart enough guy to follow this work, have the mind to see that this was the truth, be willing to invest $5 a month in the Patreon. That's what it costs you guys. $5 a month gets you all of the sports content. If you want to step up to the big timer, $11 a month, you get all of my content, including the Letters and Numbers book. You get to go to Gematria school every Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, Gematria school, I teach you guys how to do what I do. It's a live session. I take your questions. Class is at least 2 hours, but every week I'm sure it'll go longer than 2 hours because I sit around and answer everyone's questions. So when the questions are done being asked, that's when the class ends. But this is the knowledge you want if you want to see through what's really going on in the world. And this is a lot bigger than sports. Look at their little 36-second timer down here, the reflection of 63. Today has 36 and 63 date numerology. Nice little 17-second timer. You guys, let's talk about that. James Taylor dies at 83. They're paying tribute to him early in the game. And then, what was it, like 5 seconds later, Aaron Rodgers finds number 83 wide open on the field for a huge gain. Not even a defender on the camera screen. Remember, football 83. Murder 83. The song Murder by Numbers came out in the year 83. This past week, October 9th, the day leaving 83 days left in the year, we had 3 football death stories in the news. The owner of the Chargers, the Black Jackie Robinson of football, and then the follow-up on how the young Georgia high school football player died. All news by the numbers. It's what it is every single day. It's undeniable when you learn the code. So, think I'm making this stuff up? Go and watch my videos. See what I've been saying before it happens. Go see how many championships, college and pro, I've called before they happen. Calling the scores too. Calling specific details. Like how I said tonight was all about 63. And just look at the score. It's just right there in front of your face. One more time. Today has 63 date numerology. Aaron Rodgers, and our most pure of the base cipher, 63. This is the one that matters most, the dark blue one. And here's how you do date numerology. 10 plus 15 plus 20 plus 18, 63. Thank you to that person who bought the book. You guys, the book's at $5 because it's supposed to sell 1 million copies. And the reason I need you to buy 1 million copies is so that I can have $5 million to build the Gematria News Network, which will then employ 1,000 people so that we can take this message 1,000 strong. And you know what we'll do with that? We'll take over the world. And what we'll do is we'll get rid of all these rigged, corrupt sports leagues. We'll prove that Tom Brady's a nobody. Aaron Rodgers is not bad, but he's not the greatest either. And what we'll do is we'll establish real sports leagues. We'll establish reality, or what reality should be. No longer rigged sports, no longer rigged government, no longer propaganda-based news every day. The point is to take the world back. And it needs to be taken back. There's no reason for athletes to be paid millions of dollars. I mean, give me a break. Are athletes the most important thing in the world? Is playing rigged sports the most important thing in the world? It's not. Not at all. Not at all. And you know what? Just since we're doing a live stream and just to go back over what happened last Monday night, let's do the deja vu of last Monday night. Do you guys remember what happened last Monday in the world of sports? In Major League Baseball, we had the 2 Native American teams eliminated. Do you remember that? The Braves and the Indians, both eliminated on Christopher Columbus Day, who journaled once upon a time how easy it was to murder the natives, how easy it was to rape the native women. You can read all his journal entries in Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States. Christopher Columbus journaled how easy it was to kill the natives because they didn't have guns, how easy it was to rape their women. Can you believe this? This guy has a national holiday. So anyway, on Christopher Columbus Day, the 2 native teams get wasted in the MLB. And then in the NFL, the Saints, which are Catholic, like who paid for Christopher Columbus, they wasted the Redskins 43-19, 62 combined points. Like how the Dodgers eliminated the Braves 6-2, and then the Astros eliminated the Indians 11-3, and then the two teams that were in the 113th World Series eliminated the native teams. Anyway, this is what was up with that whole 62 ritual. Drew Brees had his wide open receiver for the 62-yard touchdown to set the NFL record. Genocide. This is why 62 was so big that day. It's because genocide equals 62, you see? It was all part of a sick joke, like how Christopher Columbus, he's the seed of the genocide of the natives in this country. Why doesn't Hollywood make a movie every year about the native genocide, Christopher Columbus was Jewish. Can't we make a movie about the Jewish guy who planted the seed of the native genocide? I mean, what's wrong with that? Hollywood makes a movie every year about the Holocaust, which is a fictional thing that never happened. How about let's talk about the real genocide? Anyway, let's do this here. Drew Brees' Redskins. Let's see if I can pull it up here. See if I can pull it up here. Okay, here we go. So this is how awesome this was. It was Drew Brees. When he came into this game against the Redskins, he had 265 career games under his belt. His game against the Redskins last Monday night was his 266th career game, okay? This was the before. Alex Smith came into the game with 161 games. The Monday Night Football genocide slaughter was his 162nd game. And look at this. From Drew Brees' birthday to his 266th game was his 266th day, right? And Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, is the 266th Catholic Pope. Again, Christopher Columbus was paid for by the Catholic Church. At the 2-minute warning, they were blowing Drew Brees about how great he is with his 62-yard pass. Look at what the score was at the 2-minute warning, 26-6. You think that was an accident? Nope. It was another example of the perfect scripting, which I talked about before the game was even played. And what else is awesome is from the game to Pope Francis's birthday was 71 days, Catholic 71. Traquan, the guy who caught the 62-yard touchdown, his birthday is it's either January 7th or July 1st. I can't remember. It's one of those two dates, but both of those dates can be written 7/1. He caught the 62-yard record setter that was in the 71,000 yardage mark, another 71. So here it is right here. He passed him at 71,940. It was Columbus Day. It was also Indigenous People Day. They couldn't have scripted it any better. They really couldn't have. It's the Redskins' 87th season. You see that? The 87th, Manifest Destiny 87. It was Alex Smith's 162nd game, Major League Baseball 162. And with regards to Alex Smith, think about how he was traded from the Chiefs to the Redskins. He used to play for the Utah Utes, who have a U inside of head feathers just like this. And the Utah Utes actually used to be called the Redskins until the early 70s. But anyway, it was his 162nd game, Major League Baseball 162, baseball 162 games in a Major League Baseball season. That's the alphabetic order and the reverse alphabetic order. That's how nice it is. The Astros got nasty on the Indians. The Dodgers got nasty on the Braves. It was October 8th, 10/8, like 108, Major League 108. Look at the gematria of baseball in the 4 base ciphers. 54, like 54 outs in a game. You know why 18 matters? Roger Maris, 61 home runs in the year 61. The 18th prime number is 61. 162, like the number of games in a season. Another 54 in the base ciphers for the total outs in a game. And all those numbers have numerology of 9, like 9 innings. If you add 1 through 9 together, it equals 45. Major League and gematria, 45. 108 double stitches on a baseball. How I called the Cubs to end the 108-year drought in spring training. Thank you for just picking up the book. Hoping tomorrow, by the time I wake up, there's a million more cha-ching so we can start the Gematria News Network, so we can shut down the tyranny, so we can establish real sports leagues. All you Packers fans who think you're like some publicly owned team. You guys are the publicly owned team. You guys aren't shit. You guys are the little pawns that own your Illuminati-controlled football that mocks your ass every single day. That's what you guys are. I've met some of you Packers out there that are like, yeah, I'm a public owner of the Packers. Are you? Were you in on the script tonight? Oh, I didn't think so. You're the chump paying $15 for a beer that's too drunk to see the rigging. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. How come I don't hear more cha-chings? So there it is. Hollywood script. You guys think it's a coincidence that every single week the announcers are telling you they couldn't have scripted it any better? You guys are just like hearing that and thinking like that's just some cool thing to say? Huh, yeah, I guess they couldn't have scripted it any better. You got your little Johnny wearing your Brett Favre jersey, your Aaron Rodgers jersey. Like I tell my people up here in Seattle where I'm from, up here in Seattle, a lot of guys wear that jersey with the 12 that says fan on the back. Let me show you something cute about fan in our most pure cipher, which is the dark blue one. Fan 12. Like I always tell them, cross out the N and put the letter that's supposed to be there. G. You know what I mean? Because you're taking it up the ass every week. Rig games, $15 beers, cross out the N, put the G there, because that's who you're also taking it up the ass from. The G crew. And like I always tell the Seahawks people out here, the Seahawks are the Packers farm team, period. My favorite sports moment ever was when Matt Hasselbeck said, we want the ball and we're going to score. That's my favorite sports moment ever. If you don't know about Matt Hasselbeck, who absolutely sucks, the Seahawks quarterback that's only in the league because his daddy was a Freemason, you got to look at that highlight. We want the ball and we're going to score. Then what's he do? Throws a pick six. Get off the field, chump. God, it makes me sick. All right, cheapskates. Patreon, $5 a month. Priced for every cheapskate out there. The book, 773 pages. $5 priced for every cheapskate out there. Learn the code. Be a Gematria pro. See through the lies every single day. See through the rituals. See through the sickness, the tyranny, the madness. Tired of watching these guys get worshipped. These guys don't deserve a dollar. Hey, before I go, you know what I'll do? I'll take it out to the chat room, see if any of you guys have anything wise to say. Let's see if there's any wisdom out here in the chat room. Oh my God, 26 likes? 26 likes, you guys? Don't make me like my own video. How is there 100 and some people watching and 26 likes? To me, that looks like there's 120 people who need to cross out the N and put a G on there. You know what I'm saying? These likes just aren't cutting. Jonathan says he's joining the $11 tier. That's because Jonathan won huge tonight. Jonathan's been winning a lot of money every single week. That's infinite consciousness in the chat. If you listen to my weekly radio program, Gematria Effect, I routinely have Jonathan on. Jonathan always keeping up with the sports and hip-hop news. Hoping one day that Jonathan will be an employee of Gematria News Network, as well as many others of you out there. Ezra Goldfinkelsteinberger, my favorite flat earther out there, the only flat earther I tolerate. There he is, Ezra. Ezra thinks the earth is flat and Bitcoin's going to save us, but I forgive him. He gets the rest of it. Chris Mandela says I'm being greedy. Chris Mandela, you think I'm being greedy, bro? I worked for 5 years, about 80 hours a week, pumping out truth, teaching you guys how to do this, helping you win money, and never charged a single penny, man. And you know how I afforded to do that? It's because I had a bunch of money saved up from working my ass off years before you ever heard about me, and paid my own bills off my own savings and squandered all my life savings just so I could pump out knowledge for 5 years straight. Now I'm being greedy because I'm asking for $5 for a 773-page book that took me 5 years to write. Now I'm being greedy because I'm giving you guys knowledge that can win you thousands of dollars a month for $5 a month. I don't know what to say, man. I think you are not an economist. That's what I think. I think your math is fuzzy. I'm being greedy. And you guys, like I said, maybe you haven't heard me say this before, but I said it again. Like, I'm in a good financial position. I, you know, I have a house. It's a pretty nice house. It's all the way paid off. Um, I don't have any debt other than I have to pay my girlfriend's tuition, which is kind of spendy. I got to, pay for grocery bills. I got to pay for a little electricity and water and sewer here and there, but it's not that expensive. So all this money coming in, you know what I'm doing with it? I'm going out and buying Gucci and Louis and Prada. I'm just joking, you guys. I'm saving it all with the intention of, building the Truth Seeker Net news network. That's the game plan here. I want to hire the truth seekers. I want to help people out. Jonathan right now is making pretty good money on gambling, but I know that he's looking for that steady career work. He doesn't have that right now. So I think Jonathan, for his steady career work, should be doing some sports decoding. We need more people decoding the sports. You know? Somebody says, you think people are after you, Zachary? Well, I don't know. Do you know what's happened to me in the last so many years that I've been doing this? I've been messed with quite a bit. Luckily, I got titanium nuts, so I just keep going. But yeah, there's people after me, man. I just had the FBI come to my door. Knock, knock, knock. Who is it? It's the FBI. Actually, I wasn't here when the FBI came to my door. My girlfriend was, and she was flipping out. She was not happy that the FBI came over here. She demanded that I stop doing this work. But you know what happened the next day? People heard my SOS when I let them know about how the FBI came here. And they started buying the book. They started signing up for the Patreon. Those were my life preservers. Why do I not bet and win money? It's because I live in Washington State, which has the most laws against gambling, because I'm under the watchful eye of the feds, because I had auditors come out to my house 2 years ago. You ever had auditors show up at your door and question you and say, how come you haven't been paying your taxes? Because I have. So if I lived in Las Vegas, I'd probably be gambling a lot. I live in Washington State, though. And it's hard for me to move because I got to take care of my lady. She goes to school up here. Who is the best QB in the NFL? Probably Deshaun Watson, talent-wise. That Mahomes, he's pretty badass too, that Mahomes. Ching, ching. There's somebody helping the dream come alive. There's somebody helping the dream come alive. When you hear that ching, ching, that's somebody who's new to the Letters and Numbers book club. How many of you guys would rather spend your evening watching rigged football than reading some real knowledge? Let's be honest. I'm looking for a lot of me's in the chat. Me, 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 me. I love watching rigged football. I love being mocked. I love hearing the announcers saying, they couldn't have scripted it any better. Look at how great Aaron Rodgers was. I mean, if he threw that ball anywhere else, he couldn't have caught it. It's like, dude, it's not that hard to throw a football to the spot. I mean, a lot of us can do it as 12-year-olds. I'm sorry, Coronado. I missed on 3 games this week. One of them I said not to bet on because it was so tight. One of the games wrong. I shouldn't have picked the Bengals. I saw the narrative for the Steelers. That was one of the 3 wrong. I did think the Rams were going to get upset by the Broncos. I apologize about that. And that Bears-Miami game, that was the other one I was wrong about. But overall, it was a very good week. We only got 3 wrong, so. I like KJ23. That's my comment of the night right there. That's a real man. He wrote, I hated this channel at first, then I realized I was just mad I didn't see it sooner. See? That's a truth speaker right there. That's a guy who has the ability to admit, the way he's really feeling. 90% of humanity doesn't have that in them. You know what happened with that Washington versus Oregon game? 61 was stacked all over that game on the 61 date numerology, and the 161 that Oregon had was their QB, and he's going to be a future NFL player. So I guess he's the boss. Chris Mandela says that Jesus Christ is in control of the scripted football. Well, Chris Mandela, you just made me a believer. I am ready to get down on my knees and worship Jesus since he made Aaron Rodgers win it 33-30 tonight. Here I thought it was the synagogue of Satan, but now Chris Mandela lets me know it's Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Chris Mandela. He just taught me something huge. Jesus Christ is in control of rigged football. Will the Colts even make the playoffs this year? It sure doesn't look like it. It sure doesn't look like it. I don't know. Who was expecting the Colts to make the playoffs this year? They're in the AFC South. They got some respectable teams down there. Survival of the Fist says, dude, start your company so I can work for you in caps. Well, man, for me to start a company, I need more cash than I got right now. I'm just building back up. I was totally broke here 2 months ago. If you guys missed my work on why Mason Crosby missed 13 points last week with 4 field goals and extra point, check it out. It's on my blog. Talked about it on the Patreon. Nice little Masonic ritual. All right, so you guys, you're asking me for sports information, and I'm trying to save that exclusively for my Patreon for the people who are paying there. But since week one on, I know I've dropped some clues and some videos about who I really like in the NFC for the Super Bowl. And the Redskins still got a shot, but I've been saying a certain team since week one that's the more likely team to be there. And I bet if you just think a little bit, you can probably figure out what team that is in the NFC right now. They might be undefeated. Remember Tom Brady, full circle. He had his first Super Bowl against that team. He might have his last. So those of you who are watching Tony Tell It Like It Is videos, I want you to do me a favor right now. I want you to go to the Etsy page, and I want you to buy the book because I got a better idea for how you just spend your time going forward. It should be reading my book. It's going to take you places. It's like a master's program for $5. Imagine if you could sign up and get a master's degree for $5. Would you do it? I mean, if you're watching Tony Tell It Like It Is videos, maybe you wouldn't. But I'm trying to help you out here. I don't know who's watching Tony Tell It Like It Is videos. That guy's been wrong since day one. Joe Schmo from Arizona, he's right. Jesus obviously blew up the towers on 9/11 too, because obviously Jesus is in control of all of the numerical rituals. It was Jesus who killed Prince. Somebody who just signed in here, I hope you know I'm being sarcastic. We had somebody say that it was Jesus Christ who scripted the Packers game tonight. If you didn't know, Jesus Christ is the biggest director in Hollywood also. Yeah, Tennessee beat Tigers. We called that in our Friday night decode. If you sign up for the $5 a month on my Patreon, you get all your sports picks, and every Friday night you get to do sports decoding live. I'm there with all of you guys. I'm taking your requests. We're decoding the games as you request them. We looked at that Tennessee and Tigers game, and we said it looks like the Tennessee's got a real narrative to win here. We picked LSU to upset as well. They did. I was starting to tell the group that I liked Colorado over USC, but the group thought I was wrong. So sometimes in the group think you go a little wrong, but when we work as a group, we're normally right. KAO thinks I said something. I'm not going to say it out loud. I've been saying it on my Patreon. I can't tell what I tell on my Patreon out here for free because then people on my Patreon will be like, hey, what am I paying for, Zach? You know, yesterday I told everybody who's going to win the NBA Finals. It's Lock City on the NBA Finals this year. It's never been easier to read a championship. It's even easier to read than tonight's Monday Night Football game being all about 63. The NBA Finals is a done deal this year, you guys. It is doner than done. Joe Schmo says Americans got no common sense. Well, Joe Schmo's an American. I'm an American. Some of us do Joe Schmo. But the 99s, they don't. My goodness, those 99ers. I remember how RFG last year, somebody said about RFG. I remember RFG's Super Bowl pick, the Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers. Or what was it? No, it was the Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers. Then it was the Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars. And then after he was like 0 for 8 on his Super Bowl picks, then he started making videos saying I was a fraud. It's like, dude, I'm a fraud. I've been telling everybody since September 23rd the Super Bowl is going to be the Eagles and the Patriots, and it was. How are you going to get on here and start saying I'm a fraud after you're 0 for 8 with your whack-ass Super Bowl predictions? And his Freemason compass on his T-shirt. Sylvia says, my book is fire. Thank you. You guys don't call me a prophet. I'm not a prophet. I just figured out how these Freemason assholes rig their shit, period. It's not prophecy. It's exposure. And the only reason I figured out how to expose these assholes is because I saw what they did on September 11, 2001, and I knew it was all numerological. And I said, I'm going to figure this out. I know these synagogue types. I see what they're up to. I'm going to figure this out, and I sure did. Cool Man says he's most into the sports work because every man he knows worships these rigged sports games, and he's right. The majority of people who found my work who are meaningful contributors, they found it through my work exposing rigged sports. So there's a lot of merit to decoding the sports. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers, he came off the high rope with the elbow tonight. It was a WWE smashing. Hey, I'm just going to throw something else out there. There's a guy who runs a thing called Gematria Club. He's been doing it for a few years now. He's a guy that followed my blog for a number of years, and he kept begging me to start a for-profit sports picking thing. And I said I wasn't going to do it until the day I ran out of money, which is exactly when I finally profitized my work. And he got sick of waiting for me, so he started Gematria Club, and he charges a ton for his picks. And the thing is, that guy has never picked anything right. I mean, he's just always been horrible at picking, and he's charging people things like $50 for the weekly football picks. And I mean, if you take his picks, you'll probably be lucky to get 30% of the games right. And a lot of people have been paying that guy a lot of money because he started this Gematria Club. See, he exploited the market that I created. A lot of people were feasting for this Gematria knowledge. They wanted more. He saw it. He went out and he created Gematria Club. He made it real expensive. And he's been stealing money from people, essentially. So never sign up for that Gematria Club. That guy's the worst. He's like, he's on the level of Tony Tell It Like It Is, but he's charging for his work. So Real fraud, that guy. The only thing he contributes to my blog now is about every 3 months he posts and trolls. And it's really something. It's like, dude, you learn from me. You're making money off of my knowledge. You've been making money off of my knowledge for years, and you're ripping off everybody that you're charging. The difference with my work is I'm hardly charging you anything and giving you a ton of knowledge every single month, because that's the way I roll. $5 a month for what takes about, I don't know, 100+ hours of my time. And of course, there's a network of you paying for it. But for every $5 that you spend, I'm working like 100+ hours a month for you. So think about that value. You're paying me pennies an hour. Some bearded person. He's one of my favorite dudes around here. Some bearded person. I got to make him a moderator. He says, I've lost him a lot of friends. And I know what he means, because learning this knowledge, when you start to talk about other people with it, they disown you. They think you're crazy. It's like my best friend, he got married a few years ago, and he didn't even invite me to his wedding. And the reason why is over all of this. It's like, really, dude? I've been there for you for so many things. You're not going to invite me to your wedding because you're mad at me for saying sports are rigged by the numbers? He's a big Cowboys fan. Him and I were together the day that the Texans in their inaugural game against the Cowboys beat the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football once upon a time. If you look up the Texans-Cowboys all-time record, the Texans have only beat the Cowboys 2 times, and both times on Sunday Night Football, not by accident. Jake says he would pay to see a RFG debate with me. You guys, I invited a RFG on my radio show about a year ago. It was about a year ago this time. It was probably exactly a year ago. And I tried to be nice to him, because I want to think he's legitimate, and he's not. But I just wanted to believe that he was, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I let him run his mouth, and all he exposed on my radio show is that he's a little prick. And I really could have took him to the woodshed if I wanted to, but I didn't think there was any need to. I mean, the only time he ever got anything right in the sports predictions when he copied me on the Broncos over the Panthers. Other than that, he's been wrong about everything with some really pathetic picks. So somebody points out, hey, Zach, there's missing books and parts of the Bible. I'm well aware. The book of Enoch, the Apocryphals. The Apocryphals is where Methuselah, it's exposed that he's black and he's really weirded out with his white child. So I talk about that often. Hey, Amani Williams is here. One of my favorite decoders. Welcome to the moderator club. There's probably all sorts of people I should make as moderators right now, like Jonathan. You guys are going to have to pardon me. I've been drinking a little bit. After that Hollywood line, I was just like, okay, I can't be sober for this anymore. Stuff's making my hair fall out. Where's the bottle of wine? Let's see. Ezra Gold Finkelstein says I'm invited to his wedding. Are you getting married? Make White Lightning a moderator. That's somebody I don't know. I can't make somebody I don't know a moderator. And Monty Williams found that there's a 9th Avenue in San Francisco. I know where she's going with that, with the 9th Ave. If you guys aren't on my Gematria Effect news channel, that's where I'm putting out the majority of my content. And we've been talking an awful lot about the 9th of Ave, Tisha B'Av, August 11th, 2019. That's going to be the real Super Bowl. Remember that day. What do I know of Vegas Dave? I don't know. I've heard that name somewhere. I forget. Oh, yeah. Jonathan's pointing out about the BS call on Richard Sherman to give the Packers the first down at the end of the game. If the script doesn't go quite right, the Zebras are always there to ensure it. Hey, so you guys, you want to know something? Go to gematria.com and type in this. Type in October 16th and look at what comes out in the most pure of the base ciphers. 76. You see that one? The 76ers, one of 4 teams opening the NBA season. Philadelphia, the original home of the Warriors, who are also playing that night. Do a little more research. You might find some more things. By the way, October 16th leaves 76 days left in the year. I always loved how the 76ers lost to the Portland Trail Blazers in the NBA Finals in the 76-77 season. John Cox says, I'm a master teacher. Well, thank you so much. I'm so good they banned me from the Yakima School District. But I'm glad they did, because now I'm teaching gematria every day. If they would have hired me, I would be teaching elementary school, which actually I wouldn't mind doing. I love teaching elementary school. But this is more important, so. I didn't say the 76ers are going to win tomorrow, but I'm just showing you part of what the ritual is.
Hey, truth seekers.
That's all you want to say? That's all you want to say?
Congratulations.
My girlfriend's congratulating you. She thinks you guys all won money. You guys should see how anxious my girlfriend gets when the games are close and she knows what team I pick. She was freaking out tonight. She's like, I thought you said the Packers were going to win. I'm like, just chill. They're going to win. She's like, why are they losing? Somebody said you sound cute, Doy Boo. She likes compliments like all ladies. But anyway, I got to wrap it up for the night, you guys. That was also the subtle signal that it's time to get off the computer. So thank you for supporting. I'm wondering where the likes are at. I see like 200 of you out there, and where's the likes? Where are the likes? I'll be back tomorrow. I might not be back tomorrow on this channel. I do most of my content these days on Gematria Effect News, but and most of my sports content just going on the Patreon. So you guys got to come up with that $5 a month. I know it's only 9:30, but I got to do other things too. So go on the Rogan podcast. How about all of you who want me on the Joe Rogan podcast? You go over there and say, hey, Joe, we saw you teaching about gematria because you saw Zachary K. Hubbard's video. Why don't you have him on? We're tired of your booty guess. But until that happens, until there's a bunch of people, barking up people's tree, they're not going to have me on. It would be nice to get on the Joe Rogan podcast, though. I would love to talk to old Joe. Teach him how to be funny. I saw his new Netflix special. It's not very funny. My goodness. Who put you on the stage, buddy? Put me on. There's a bridge collapse in India today. This sounds like some Gematria Effect news content. Let's just see. Bridge collapse, India. Looks like it was. God, was there one on May 15th? Was there really? If you guys missed my work yesterday on the bridge collapse on Gematria Effect News, we were talking about all these bridge collapses in connection to 515. We learned something new about this number 515. It looks like there might have been one on May 15th. This is probably what this person's telling me. Looks like there was one September 4th too. I'll have to, I'll look into it. There's always more to look into, huh? All right, you guys, they couldn't have scripted it any better. You know, the flick of the wrist. Aaron Rodgers, number 17. Scripted football, yada, yada, yada. It never ends. Nice connection there, Emil. That's a new one, too. All right, you guys, thanks for the support. Where's my book sales at? Where's my book sales? Till next time, Truth Seekers.